That's just awesome. There's a lot of money sitting in all those machines right now. Hey, welcome to the Farm Progress Virtual Experience. This is gonna be fun. Got a row crop, AFS Connect Magnum right now, row track. This is the 340. So this is a 2020 model. I have never driven one of these, so maybe my day is today. So definitely tracks in the back, tires in the front, a little bit of mix of both worlds. Maybe that's a really good thing. And then they've got paired up with this, the 2150 16 row corn planter, a row crop planter. Know very little about these things too. This is not really my specialty. So that's why I'm here, to see how these things work. So we're gonna go take it for a spin. I've got Ryan with me. Ryan's gonna give me the lowdown on how this thing works. So let's go for a roll and learn a thing or two about this planter and turn some dirt. Huh. First time driving a row track Magnum. This is cool. Does it feel, it does kind of feel like it turns a little different, doesn't it?
Yep. It's just a little bit different.
Kind of, yeah, not like a jerk, but just a little bit of a different than tires. The last Magnum I drove had a, big Magnum had row crop duals across the whole thing.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool. Is there one big cylinder in the center then?
Yep.
That must be a long cylinder.
Yeah.
This AFS Connect Magnum cab is pretty nice. I really like the compartments on the back and the side. Very well done. Very familiar with this. That's why it's really nice. It's very natural jumping between machines. It's like the same thing on each one of them. Okay. All right. So we're good to go?
Yep.
So you can start off, let the clutch out with 1800 RPM and don't worry about burning anything. So it must be a pretty good wet clutch, or somehow they...
Yep.
That's 7.5 right there. Man, that's booking. That's amazing. It can maintain accurate depth at that speed if it goes bouncing around. There's not 6 feet in that cab, so yeah. No, he's gonna do one more pass. That was fun. First time running a row crop planter. Actually planting. I guess I kind of ran one a few months ago in Arizona, but I wasn't planting. I was actually planting with this one. That was fun. All right, well, we're at the demos for the combines. They're about to start running through some corn here, so I think a couple other cars just went first. Case IH is up here in a second. So they're getting equipped with some cameras. This is the 9250 FS. So I'm excited to see this thing eat some corn. It's got the 4412F corn head on it. So yeah, be awesome to see this thing running. Hope we get a chance here in a minute. I'm curious on a lot of things, like the spreaders here. Why aren't they like the ones that we have on ours? So I'm gonna have him explain that stuff to me if I get a chance, but definitely a beautiful machine. Something I can dream about, have someday. All right, we're at the combine. This is Jesse.
Yep, Jesse Williams.
And what are you running right here?
We got a 9250 with a 4412 folding corn head.
Awesome. And so we're running through a little bit of corn here. This is some of the stuff that didn't get blown over in the wind from the crazy Iowa storm. But we're gonna go ahead and run it down a little pass, and then you're gonna do what's called a kill stall.
That's right.
So what do you do there?
So to do the kill stall, what we're gonna do is all in one motion. We're going to take one hand, shove the hydro handle forward, pull the throttle back, hit the brakes, and flip the key switch.
So you're gonna do everything that you should not do in a combine, really. The older combines, that would be a big no-no because then you'd plug everything, it'd be a pain to get out.
Could be possible.
But this one's a little different because it's got a deslug mode, so
Right, correct.
you can take care of that.
So it's like hitting the pause button on the machine, then we'll pop the shields open, we'll look inside and see what's going on in that machine. Kind of gives us an idea of what to do as far as settings and adjustments to really fine-tune the machine.
Awesome. Okay, let's go do a pass. So halfway down the field, then kill stall, then we'll investigate. Look closer. Okay, let's go. All right, well, thanks for the fun ride.
You bet.
This is quite a combine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoyed having you ride.
Yeah, I learned a thing or two, so now when we start planting corn, I'll know what to do.
You'll know what to do in down corn.
Yeah, he's got it figured out, so. All right, I'm gonna get out. Join the other guys. Have a good one.
You too.
I feel silly for why I was asking why the spreaders in the back of that combine are designed a little different than the ones ours. Well, why do you need to spread corn further than the width of that corn head? That corn head's not 45 feet wide like our headers. They don't need that kind of spreading capability. So they put a lot more simpler system on the back because, well, you only have to spread as far as the header width. And the header width on that's like, what, 25 feet or something? So that makes sense. Duh.
So what he did, he opened up the front cover, took the panels off the rotor,
Yep.
and then
So we're going to take a look inside, and several things we want to look for. We want to look in the front half of the rotor up here where our adjustable concaves are. That's our threshing area. We got to do all the threshing up in the front of the machine. So when we look in the back, we don't want to see any cobs back here that have grain on them. If we were doing wheat or beans, you know, same thing. We want to make sure all of our threshing got done in the front. If not, we're going to make a threshing system adjustment. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here at the back, and I'm going to reach through and look for loose grain. I don't want to see any loose grain at the back of that separation area. If I've got loose grain at the back of the separation area, it's a good chance I'm walking grain at the back of that rotor. So I'll just come forward and see not much for loose grain in the back of this rotor. So we got just a little bit in here. That's kind of what we want to see. And the next thing we look at is we want to look down here on the grain pan and look at this mat of grain. I want to see an even mat all the way across. This one looks pretty good the way it's running right now.
okay, these here can be somewhat changed by what?
Right, so we can adjust concave clearance on these in the cab with our concave clearance adjustment. So we can tighten it up to make it a little bit more aggressive. We can loosen it up to make it a little bit less aggressive. What we want to see in corn is we want to have that rasp bar and concave adjusted. So we're just rubbing that cob. We're kind of rolling it through there. If you look out the back and you're seeing a lot of cob split that way, it's an indication you're too tight, you're shearing that cob in two.
Okay.
You're seeing a lot of them broke like that. That could be an indication you're too wide and they're sitting there tumbling through the rotor, getting broke in the rotor. So
Now,
you
does
can
it-
see we got just a little rub on that one. That's what we want to see.
Okay, so now what about different size? You know, let's say it's been a little dryland corn. That is it a smaller cob, and then so you're going to have to adjust
So a lot of
accordingly?
times we will run a little bit tighter. If we get into high moisture corn, we're dealing with a lot more green leaf. We'll run even tighter there. We want to pinch that cob just a little bit and kind of put some pressure on that cob and use it to whiten this leaf material off the concaves when we're doing high moisture. So
Okay.
your book setting is around 24 millimeters, so that's your typical cob size. Works good in dry corn. Get in high moisture, a lot of times we're down 18 to 20 millimeters.
Okay. Now, how important are the veins on for harvesting corn?
So they're pretty important. We're typically slowing the veins down when we get into corn, putting them in their slower position. We're dealing with, you know, 200, 250 bushels per acre, so we can get up 5,000, 6,000 bushels per hour through the machine. So we got to hold that crop in a little bit longer, spin it a few more times, try to get that grain separated out. So that's one nice feature of the 250 series. In-cab adjustable veins, I can adjust them between crops pretty easily. I also have a very slow position, so I can slow these 6 degrees slower than I could in the old machines with the
Oh, wow.
ends. So.
Oh yeah. So and that's all adjustable in the cab. And they also have automation.
Correct.
With that is an option for those who maybe don't want to fine tune or really haven't had the experience. You can
Right,
preset it and it will adjust a little bit accordingly.
Right, so with automation we dial in those sensitivities so that everything's running around 50% when we're happy on that display. Then as our conditions change, we'll see possibly the vanes will change, the rotor speed will change, the sieve settings, the fan settings.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty much, this is really the important part of the, if you don't do the thrashing correctly,
Correct.
the rest of the machine is going to have to handle it. Either it doesn't have enough to handle or it's going to have way too much. And
Right.
so
Yep.
you're looking at getting this managed, and once you get this, then you can
Right.
manage the rest.
Yep,
Okay.
and you know, if you're looking at a crop like wheat or soybeans and we do that kill stall and we're coming through here, we're not seeing that loose grain in the back. You know, if I'm coming up here before I find my loose grain, well, that's an indication I can take those veins and speed them up.
Okay.
Make less passes, get that crop out of the machine a little bit quicker.
Okay, yeah. Now, very important. It's really to try to figure out what is happening at an instant so
Correct.
you can correct that. Because if you stop it in the field and go out and adjust, you don't see what's happening.
Right, yep. So, you know, even with the automation, doing this kill stall, seeing what's going on here, looking on the ground, verifying that loss, and then dialing my sensitivities in with automation is pretty critical.
Cool.
Doesn't that tractor just look beautiful? I've actually never driven one of those Magnums with the tracks on it. I'm sure it's nice. You know, a little bit. What is this thing for?
Second time I said the other drone.
So we're gonna jump inside the 540 quad track and let's take a spin. So basically, we're using AccuTurn, is that correct?
Yes.
So what is the neat thing, if you don't know what AccuTurn's about, could you enlighten us a little bit?
Okay, what AccuTurn is going to do is when you come to the headland, it will automatically turn the tractor from one end to the other. So the only thing the operator really needs to do is raise and lower the implement. And we can set that up into the turn so that it'll automatically trigger and come on. Right now we're showing that we're working through a single display, so we would have, in this case, fertilizer applicator, and we would be spreading material, so we can turn it on and off by nothing more than start of a button right here. So I can start it, I can stop it when I'm activated. So
You don't have to worry about working on the headlands turning around. It's nice that you don't have to think about it. It'll just automatically do it. So you can focus on like how your seed's going to the ground, depending on like your quality or whatever. It's just makes life easier. So as we get closer to the end of the field, he's going to be able to push the button to turn right or left, and then you look at run 2. You have the
it'll
option.
automatically make the turn. So when I come up to the headland, and you can see the white border that's around here, that's going to be my trigger. So what I would do is, there's various different ways we can have this. For simplicity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to tell it to stop applying. So I'll just hit the button and we stopped applying, and now the tractor will automatically make the turn. So if I go back to my screen, you can see the line that's popping up. So we're making the line, and we can go over on a new line so you don't have what we've already marked before. But we'll just come right on around. Unit will come back online.
So right now, all the combines are starting to line up to ready pick some corn, shell corn, or whatever you want to call it. But they're going to get pictures and drone footage of all of them chopping together. And this might be the only time you actually see all of them playing fair and nice and working together. Other than that, it's a very competitive market. That's pretty neat to see all those machines out there. I'm not going to lie. That's really neat to see. Watch them in action. So far it looks like there's 8 combines lining up to start chopping, and there might be more, but at least that's all that's showed up so far. And just get in line, and that's just awesome. There's a lot of money sitting in all those machines right now. Just amazing.